Hi, this is Chip Dillingham from D&Z. I'd like to go over you deep foundation design. Deep foundation design is required on our building structures when the soil's conditions are not adequate to support a shallow foundation design. Typical deep foundation design involves using drilled in place caissons, where you drill a shaft and then you insert a steel cage and then pour concrete and make a steel reinforced concrete column. The caisson itself is drilled into the ground, and then at ground surface we'll throw a concrete beam that goes from caisson to caisson, and that supports the building loads above. Typically speaking, caissons are laid out in an economical fashion to utilize the concrete grade beam design parameters, get the most out of its strength and greatest span that we can. The load to the caissons are dependent on the load coming off of the grade beams, and that load is transferred into a depth. Certain depth requirement is required to resist a certain load, and it's done by skin friction, the soil resisting alongside the caissons. We'll come up with a caisson schedule for our projects that have caissons that will identify to the contractor exactly the diameter of each caisson and the depth required, and then also the steel required in the caisson. We do this in a fashion to not have the same exact design everywhere in order to get economy. So some of the designs can end up being a little bit less expensive because the loads are a little less. Here's an example of a sloped grade beam condition with a retaining wall above and then the caissons. Caissons can support retaining walls as well as standard grade beams. There's a view of a house being constructed with deep foundation. This entire foundation is supported on caissons and grade beams as well as this retaining wall. It's the layout of a house where a portion of the house is on bad soils and the other part of the house is not. So we've done this many times where it's usually around the cut fill line of the property, where when you're in the fill area we'll be supporting the structure on caissons. When we're in the competent cut area it can go back to conventional construction. This is a layout of some grade beams. That's the caisson below with the vertical bars coming up into the grade beam. Here's another condition where part of the house is supported on grade beams and part of it is incompetent material. Again, another house where the cut fill line would be about right here, so competent soils would be up on this upper half of the structure, and then down here would be more fill, unstable, and if you didn't use caissons, very likely you'd get settlement in this area and cracking of a standard foundation. We've used them for all types of projects. This is a curved house. This is a very large house with multiple caissons, large retaining walls all the way around, caissons in front and back of the retaining wall foundation. Design utilizing more caissons. Again, a structure where the house was in competent soil, and then out near the parking area we're on a fill area that needed to have better support for the foundation. We also have plenty of experience in other types of foundation, deep foundation elements. This one in particular is tie back, so holding a hillside back with drilled in ties into the hillside. We've done this a few different jobs. It's turned out successful. We also have experience with doing screw anchors, which are screwed into the ground. We've done quite a few projects with those. This is the screw anchor head that's screwed into the ground. It's a dish plate, and then we pour concrete element on top and then support grade beams on top of those. These are all different pathways that we can go down with the support of a soils engineer to provide for a competent bearing on our